This is your home for worship and the word, K-Wave 107.9. I'm Brian Perez, joined by Robert Baltadano. We are at Angel Stadium for the 26th annual SoCal Harvest. And night number 2, it is Saturday. We are here with our guest right now. It's Richard Garcia, who is the manager of the SoCal Harvest. Richard, welcome to K-Wave.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, you must have the best job in the world. You only work 3 days a year, right? Right?
Well, I'm actually a pastor as well at Harvest Christian Fellowship.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit more entailed in my job.
Okay. What ministry do you do?
Well, I oversee new believers at Harvest Christian Fellowship with
that's
Pastor
awesome.
Greg being one of the greatest evangelists of our time. That's a quite busy job.
I bet.
Right. That reminds me of something that I've wanted to tell Greg. I don't know if I'm going to have the chance to interview him, but one thing I think is really cool about Greg, you can pass this on to him, or don't. But no, he's this big-time evangelist, quote-unquote big-time, but, you know, he gets up on stage, speaks to tens, hundreds of thousands of people, but you still hear him when he does his radio program that he'll talk about, he does one-on-one evangelism still. It's not just about, yeah, I'll just do it once a year at the Angel Stadium. No, he's at a coffee shop or something, and he'll go up to people and just talk to them, and I think that is just awesome. It's inspirational that he does that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that he walks the talk, it excites us as the congregation to do the same. So we're absolutely a bringing church. We see probably in the range of about an average of 70 people make a profession of faith every Sunday morning through the afternoon.
Wow. That's great.
Now, this whole Harvest Crusade, SoCal, it's a huge event, obviously. So for your duties, when do you start planning or preparing for this conference or this event?
Actually, the planning, we set a date, and then the physical work starts going about 7 to 8 months out.
Wow.
And we have a big, giant pastors' luncheon that we have right here in the Diamond Club that we're sitting in right now, where we invite SoCal pastors to come out and just hear Pastor Greg share the vision for the year. And then it kind of breaks down to smaller meetings where we're getting churches to jump on board and say, I want to promote, I want to follow up, and so it's just great just partnering with other denominations and cultures and peoples of different churches. They all come together because they want to invite people to their church.
So do you manage that? Do you manage the churches that contact Harvest to be involved in? That's kind of like one of your
Yeah,
duties?
because you don't let just any church or any denomination.
Well, what we do is we hold church involvement meetings, and that's where they come out and they kind of take a look at it and see what's going on. And we have them jump through some hoops, send us a copy of their letter, and let us know the names of the people they're going to be participating in. In fact, there's 100+ churches that are represented up in our card sorting room right now.
Awesome. Follow-up is so important. Discipleship is so important. It's not just about leading someone to Christ and then, okay, great, you made it. You're going to heaven. See ya in heaven. Bye. No, we got to make disciples of people as well. That's the second part of the Great Commission.
Well, follow-up, it's my job, but it's also a passion, and it's a hobby. And I really love it. I love doing it, and I love being a part of it. I love making it better. Just in case you didn't know, what happens on the field is Pastor Greg calls people down there, and they have a conversation with a 5-minute friend, and that's a decision follow-up worker. And they fill out an information card. That information card is then ran to someplace that people don't even know about called the card sorting room. So after everybody's gone home, there's 100+ churches up there with letters from their lead pastor welcoming them out to their church. So those cards are ran up there. They're distributed by zip code. And they address the envelopes, put stamps on them, seal them up, give them to us, and we take them to the post office each and every night. Then those cards are taken to some computers that are entering computer data, so they can get, right when they click submit their information, they get a welcome email from Pastor Greg asking if that we can input them into our daily devotion from Greg, taking them through the book of John.
Right.
Also, we put together a Start Friend online discipleship team of people across the country that are Pastor Greg radio listeners that went through some grueling training that say, I just want to tell people about Jesus. That's all I want to do. And so they get entered into that Start Friend system and have the opportunity to get discipled online.
Now that's the email follow-up that Greg mentions on A New Beginning, right? And what's the website? I think it's startfriend.harvest.org. So what happens when somebody, let's say I wanted to sign up as a Start Friend, what happens next?
Well, you go to startfriend.harvest.org and you go through and you send in all your information, and they actually train you, and then they have some people that they call guardians that kind of oversee your emails for a while and kind of hold your hand through the system.
Okay.
And then when they feel like you're ready to go out on your own, you go out and start receiving those emails.
Wow.
Very
So is there one person in charge? Obviously, it's a big database. So you probably have a team, right, behind the scenes kind of doing this?
Yep. Like I said, we have 400 plus of those folks, and then we have the guardians and shepherds and all these different levels of people that are watching over all these things and
Wow.
managing it.
Now, what so is that managed the same way with the people watching online all over the world? Because these aren't the people that are down on the field filling out cards. How does it work for the people who are watching online?
That's true. Those people, we have a knowgod.org site that those folks go to. So they click there, they go through, they'll get the Bible, but they also will get entered into the Start Friends system.
Okay.
Yep.
And people who, do they get all the resources, the new believers resources, the ones listening online?
Yes.
And there's also a phone number that you guys are giving out for prayer for people that are, not here.
Yeah, actually
physically.
we have a phone center open right now, and for the first time we have some Spanish-speaking phones open, and we had quite a few calls last night because we're on a radio, a Nueva Vida, a live
Oh, wow.
webcast.
Okay.
So we got a lot of Spanish calls last night.
Wow.
And in fact, we had because we were running ads on the Spanish radio, we got I think 51 people that made Spanish-speaking folks that made a profession of faith last night, which is huge.
Yes.
Because in the past last year, I think we had 60 for the whole weekend.
Wow.
So kind of kicked it up a notch in the Spanish section.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now you have other languages too, right? Did you guys help out?
Spanish and deaf, and that's
okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about sign language yesterday, just how it's so beautiful watching it as it's being done, and it's really cool. But
It is.
Richard, how can people find out more about the harvest?
Well, yeah, everything is socal.harvest.org, and so everything is there. In fact, if you want to become a Start Friend, I'd encourage you to do so. It's really, really fun, and you can do it at your leisure. You can do it at home, and it's I think you grow because you don't have the answers, and
Right.
you find them.
You
and
can find the answers. I
Yeah.
think that's what might be stopping people from doing it, is because they're like, well, I don't know. What if they start asking me these deep theological questions, and I don't have the answers to
Yeah,
that?
and and typically you don't get those deep theological questions. Perhaps once in a while you will, but people just want to know, does there really a God in heaven that loves me? Does he care about me? And am I going to heaven? And and how do I get through these terrible times that I'm going through, my sickness or my emotional sickness and those type of things. And that's we're just there to share God's word and share God's comfort with them.
Awesome. Richard Garcia, thank you so much for
Thank you.
stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty.
All right.